Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining at the second day of the RISE Pico World Summit. We had a fantastic launch yesterday with the opening plenary and the release of the RISE values by four amazing women global thought leaders. It was truly a moment for us to all understand what the values responsible, inclusive, sustainable, and ecosystem friendly mean in our lives. Today, day two started with the plenary, and now we are here on a session with Mr. Mehul Kuwadia, who is the founder and CEO of Gracels. He's going to do his session on participant-centric instructional design, a workshop that will help you to learn strategies to design instructional experiences that prioritize participant engagement and maximize learning outcomes. I think one of the biggest things we always face wherever we go is using of presentations in the most mundane manner possible. And I think letting go or not realizing what is the participant really gaining from it is the key to it. And I think that's where Mehul aces it absolutely. And therefore, I'm going to now request Mehul to please come on stage and take over this workshop. Mehul, may we please have you?
Thank you, Karen. Nice to meet you and meet all the participants. And yeah, so shall we start from here?
Yes.
So, like Karen said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Mehul Kuwadia, and let me directly get into the session, share my thoughts, and then, of course, we'll take up the question answers and any other discussion points that we have. Like Karen said, I'm considered as India's #1 trainers trainer and have certified more than 3,500 trainers across India and outside India. Primarily, this happened because of the methodology which I share, which I use, and which I tell my participants to trainer is how to become participant centered. It's not just about games or it's not just about being nice to the participants, but it's about participant in the center and thinking about as to what the best way the participant can learn. So that's where the topic participant centric instructional design. With all due respects to so many trainers, many a times we find that the trainer is participant centric, but the trainer is subject in the sense that the trainer designs the program, designs the intervention the way he thinks it is important and not keep the participant in mind. While a whole lot of time we forget that the communication that we do is not for the communication is for the person who is receiving it. So unless the communication is from the receiver's point of view, receiver's perspective, the communication will only be heard by the receiver but may not be understood, not be assimilated, and hence we may not get desired result or desired outcome from the communication. A very simple example is that when we talk to maybe a 2-year-old kid or a 3-year-old, we automatically, talk in a which is very, very baby-like, church feet, so nice, something like that we say, primarily keeping the baby in mind because that's the way the child understands, that's the way the child responds. And here I'm saying that we need to use the same principle even when we are talking about adult learning. So let me get into the subject. We only have 2 hours. I do this for 3 days. I'll take you through the whole process. There are basically 10, 11 different steps which I have identified and experienced that, using these steps in designing a training program, designing an intervention is what will bring out the best results. Normally, any program starts with an icebreaker. An icebreaker, or we call it it is a micro lab. The whole purpose of the micro lab is basically to bring people together, to bring people to this room, to this place, to make it into a cohesive group. People come from backgrounds, people come from different processes, people come with different stresses, strains, problems, and they need to really cut off, because unless we put all those things behind and focus on the learning will not happen. So we need to bring people together, and that's the reason it's always a very good idea to start the program with an icebreaker. An icebreaker which I feel, which I've experienced, which works very well, is introducing your partner. What we can do is uh, make use of people. You can instruct the partner saying that, okay, select somebody in this group whom you do not know at all or whom you know the least. You may be conducting a program within an organization where people may know each other. In that case, people need to select somebody whom they know the least. And then give them 5 minutes or so and say that I would like you to share something about yourself, not just name, age, qualification, experience, designation, location, but maybe some achievements, some successes, something about family, something about hobbies, interest, likes, dislikes, maybe a training topic, maybe goals in life, maybe some person wants to learn. These are all indicative points. Tell them that these are indicative. The whole point is to introduce the person as a person rather than, somebody from a particular department or a particular function, or designation. And then when all those come into mind, somebody senior, somebody junior, that itself unnecessarily creates a whole lot of blockages. People think senior to me, manager in another department. Thing. So the whole purpose is to break all this, break break the barriers between the participants, which is heterogeneous group, and convert them into a homogeneous group. Give them about 5 minutes or maybe a little more, 5 to 7 minutes, wherein they exchange information with each other, they talk to themselves, they talk to each other, socialize, and then each participant will have the responsibility of introducing the partner to the rest. Now, rather than doing this very formally, it would be a good idea to tell them that, okay, introduce the partner to the group in a little humorous manner, in an engaging manner, in an interesting manner. Okay, you may give some examples if you want. That maybe you can tell the name the last and say that I'm introducing somebody who is this and who is this and things like that, and then at the end of it, say kind of so friends, I present to you this person, his name is XYZ or whatever. So bring in that the little childish behavior, the fun, the element of breaking down all the barriers. As a instructor, as a trainer, it would always be a good idea to at times say a few things in between, not very theoretically. I mean, not very philosophical. Maybe some punch, maybe some bit of humor. Maybe somebody's hobby is singing, so you can say, "Oh, now we have somebody whom we can look forward to during the lunch break, and he's going to sing good songs." And maybe somebody likes to play drums or something, so we say, "Okay, now we have people." So like bring in some fun, bring in all these kind of comments, and uh, help people into each other. Times people say that, okay, it's an icebreaker. Many trainers do ice breaking just as kind of a formality that, okay, starts with an introduction. This is not just introduction. It is an ice breaking, and there's a very big difference between introduction and ice breaking. Ice breaking is bringing everybody, breaking the barriers, making it into a cohesive group, making the whole classroom learning environment, because people have come here to learn, and when they have to learn, they have to experiment. If they have to acquire the skill, they need to experiment with the new skill, wherein there can be fear. So if the ice is broken, people will break all this. People will come out of their fear. People will come out of their shell and create a learning laboratory. And that's why many times an icebreaker is also called a micro lab. Of course, in behavioral programs which are little long duration, the micro lab would be a little longer and it would be more suited. But in a regular training program, an icebreaker would be good enough. I just give an example as to what this icebreaker can do for you. Ideally, I would also say that it would be a good idea to bring in which is connected to the topic of the program, to the theme of the program, and which should help you get into the session very easy. So every program starts with a speaker, and this is what I share. Now, a whole lot of time, when I conduct program, I generally ask people that why is it called an icebreaker? Okay, why not something else? Why not say some other breaker or maybe barrier breaker or things like that? Uh, there's a concept, and this concept I have developed myself. You see, when participants come to the training program, to the hall, to the training hall, all of them are like, kind of in their own shell. So they're like cubes of ice. They're cold. They would like to see who is there, what is this person, what is that person, and they have that kind of a camouflage around themselves. Now, I have an analogy. Us have had ice slush. We call it gola. In Mumbai, we call it gola. So there's an ice slush. Now imagine you go to a guy who's making this ice slush, and the person says that, sir or ma'am, whatever, I have an offer for you. Nowadays, everywhere there are discount offers like that. So I have an offer for you. You'll be surprised. Okay, my God, even a cream person or a slush selling person has got kind of an offer which is happening. I just got a message that this is not in vision mode. I got a message from the somebody who is looking up the now my slides. The lines come one after another. On the presentation mode, I don't know. Can the tech team check and let me know, because somebody messaged that see the presentation. So I'm putting it back on presentation mode. Can somebody tell me whether they see it? since there is some issue here, I have on I have screen mode, but it seems seeing it as full screen. Anyway, let's continue. Not very important as to what is seen on the screen. So I was at an example that imagine you want to have slush, and this person who is selling slush says that I have a scheme for you. I can give you some discount. And you ask, you wonder is even an ice cream fellow or a fellow is also offering discount. So of course, okay, so what is the scheme? What is the discount? The is that look here, what I'm going to do is give you a cube of ice, okay, and maybe some syrup which I put on the slush in the and all that you got to do is the ice. So you have ice in one hand, the ice kind of lick the and mouth it slush. It'll be the same thing. And I'll give you 50% discount for that because then I don't have to kind of grate the ice and all that, do all that effort. I'm sure none of you will be interested in that, though there is a 50% discount. Uh, the sells the slush who gives us this. He knows this. So what does he do? We all know he gets the ice and then puts it in a form, maybe in a glass or whatever, mix it into a ball, and puts a side and then pour some syrup on it, and then he gives it to us, and that's what we like. We like to suck it and we have it like that. Now, why I'm bringing this example over here is for us to understand that the guy who slush, he creates the ice. He doesn't convert ice into water. It is still ice. Okay? With his effort, what he has done, he made, the ice become receptive. It is still ice. There are granules of ice. Okay? And then he makes a kind of out of it, makes it into a shape, he forms it up. But in between the granules, there is enough space for the syrup to go in. And that's what he does. Okay, he pours the syrup. For us, people who train, people who design instructional design, we need to understand that when people come to us, they are like because they may have preconceived notions, they have the learning, they have the previous experiences, they may think they may have a concept, oh, I know everything, I need to learn it, or this topic is not important. There are so many different reasons. Research has shown that a whole lot of time, almost 90% of the time, participants come to a training program don't come with the objective of learning and change, learning and improvement. They come with an objective of let me see what is all this is about, what's new, what's different. Uh, uh, I can talk about it and I've updated and things like that. But a very few come with an intention of implementing it. So our is like that the person who makes slush, we call him a golawala. So our role is like our role is to ensure that these cubes of ice, the participants who have their own who are in their own shell, we break that shell. We don't need to break the participant. We don't have to offer. We don't have to convert them into something. We don't have to hypnotize them. We don't have to do anything else. We still the ice is still ice. It's like that. But only thing it's become more receptive. It's become open. Only when the ice is open, that's the time the gulawala he will put that in it. Syrup gets absorbed into the ice. Same people when they come to the training program and they come with a closed mind. At that point, you start bombarding them with new learning, new concept, new things, tell them that, look here, these are the ways of doing it in a better manner. The Golawala knows that if you if you pour at this point of time, it will all around. Nothing is going to be absorbed. So he grades the ice. And that is the purpose of an icebreaker micro lab in a training program. It is not just interaction. The purpose is homogeneity. The purpose is not just making a nice environment, but the basic purpose is to make participant open up, become receptive, okay, and accept the learning that happens. You may have seen that the person who sells slush, he has colors of syrups. Here in India, they ask us, they'll ask the person, okay, which is that color, the flavor that you. He knows that he has to put syrup, but he is becoming customer centric. He is not bleeding in, not pouring in more syrup, but he is becoming customer centric. There are some who may like tangerine, some who like sweet flavor, some kids may like a red, some kid may like a green color, some kid may like a national, all that. He knows that the input has to be, but the input needs to be given the way the receiver wants it. So what is participant? Not the way he wants to give it. You see, that's the difference between an ice cream and a slush. In ice cream, the way it is, you don't have okay, ice cream will come in variety and then but you still have specific choice. But in slush, you have specific choice. And the best part is that after the input, after the syrup has been put in, okay, from a physics perspective, of course, the syrup is between the of ice, okay, be able to separate it if you want. How would you try? But in reality, you can't. You see, the little input of syrup changes the nature of. If somebody were to give you just grated ice, together it like a ball or in some shape, and say, okay, now have this. Nobody's going, because nobody likes to kind of lick that ice ball. But with that little bit of syrup, it makes it change. It's totally different. And that's the role of the trainer. The role of the trainer is to ensure that participant's mind is open, given the input, give it in a manner the participant likes it, the participant desires it, because then participant will be motivated to absorb it, implement it. At the end of the Golawala gives you a product which is just an ice, nothing different than that. Okay, with a stick and all, that's all. Which, like, at the start of it, if that Golawala says I'm going to give uh, 50% discount, you are not going to have it. Okay. But here, it's the same thing. Like, there's a big change because of that. And that's what a trainer's role is. The trainer's role is to make a difference to people's lives. We are not here to just to kind of tell. Here just to kind of, inform. We're not here just to kind of make the day, full of entertainment, games and things like that. So many times I see that, there would be an activity that takes 45 minutes and the debrief is only 5. And many the debrief is kind of common sense. Say work. There will be some activity which is given, a lot of people are doing it. Okay. And then at the end of it, Trainer will kind of debrief and say, okay, so what do we learn? We learn that team is better than individual work. Group work is better than individual work. Group work always gives better. You already know. But there needs to be brief. That input needs to be there. That input, like I say, changes the composition of the person's mind. That ice ball is the person. The trainer that input, and that input remains that the input is and that input makes that more acceptable, more receptive, more better perform, whatever words you want to use. At the end, this is what people look forward to. This is what a trainer needs to be. So what is icebreaker is basically setting the scene, setting a platform for people to learn, a platform for people to acquire those, a platform for people to become better human beings. Functional training program or it's a behavioral training. Both at the end, they lead to a better performance, better human being. So we need to become like a Gola. We need to understand, we need to remember this, that we need to deliver the program the way the participant wants. The content may be the same, but with a different level. The participants could be at different level. Let's say if we are doing a program on communication skills, the way a communication skills would be done for freshers would be different, or the way communication skills program can be done for, say, the middle management person is different. The way in which the communication skills program is done for senior management, because the purpose is different, input is different, and hence the output will. The purpose decides what is the outcome. Unfortunately, so many times people slides and standard way of doing. So let's do a communication skill program for senior management team. And with okay, let's start with the communication model, the sender, the receiver, the barrier and all. The senior management team will say, look here, we have gone through all this. Tell me something which is different. Tell me something which I don't know. Because in training, in a training program, people come to attend to know what you know. It may be okay to do a lot of revision so that everyone's on the same page, but then the trainer has to go beyond the general level of knowledge, the general level of understanding of people, and share with them what they don't know. And that's how an awe is created. That's how people will say, "My God, what I learned." To be able to do that, first we need to become like a golawala. We need to open them, make them receptive, give the input, ensure that the input remains there, and along with that ice, creates the impact which is. So, like there is an icebreaker, we also need to make the at the end of the program, put it all together. That slush fellow does, the golawala does. He has that ball of ice, put it all together, and there's a syrup and there's a stick, and he gives it to you. So become a golawala. What is the role of the trainer when the icebreaker is? For the participant, from a participant perspective, if you see, the icebreaker is helping or her move around, interact with people, know people, find some common things between each one of them. They slowly start, becoming a cohesive group. So that slowly start coming together and and learn together. Like I said, do break the ice, and at the end of the program, make the ice. Make the ice is putting it all together, ensuring that participants go with learning that they are supposed to, which was expected out of the training program. Many times, jokingly, I tell that training is kind of a fastest growing tree in this world. If it is a 2-day program, today morning, sow the seed, and by tomorrow evening, you're looking at fruits, expecting the fruits. It has to be so fast. It has to be so effective. And it has to be why? Because it's a complete 2 days focused approach on a particular aspect, on a particular point, on a particular learning, on a particular skill. And hence, it produces the result. You do it from the participant's perspective. The purpose of icebreaker is also to create a learning and like I said, the whole classroom should convert into a learning lab where people are free and they would like to experiment with the learning. That's why we have role plays, we have studies where we experiment with the new learning. People say, okay, I learned, let me see how they experience it. By experiencing it, by experimenting it, and by positive results, though it is in a controlled environment, but at least they know that okay, if it is showing me positive results, maybe in a controlled environment, real life situation, it definitely will. You see, unless participants have confidence in the learning, participants will not implement the learning. Many times we do training evaluation and level and level 4 evaluation. Okay, and many times the managers, the supervisors, managers, team leaders, they say my team member went to a training, but I hardly see a change or I hardly see improvement. The answer to this is that during the program, the person became there, okay, but he didn't develop the confidence in the learning. You see, implementation of learning is a result of confidence in the learning. It's like learning how to drive a bicycle. I will be able to drive the bicycle all by myself when I have the confidence in learning. Till time I don't have the confidence in learning, I'll keep on asking the person, my trainer, he may be a brother, a friend, a neighbor, to be beside me, keep on holding the bicycle, ensure that I don't fall down. Because I still have the confidence in learning. The person who is training me, probably from his experience, yeah, you can do well. I think you can all go by yourself. But I may not if I don't have the confidence. So there isn't the implement learning happens. You see, the purpose of training is transfer skills. It's not just about knowledge. Yes, the knowledge is required. The background is required to be able to understand the concept. But just knowing the concept, you are learning how to car, okay, and you will somebody do the steps, okay, start the ignition, hold the clutch, put it in first gear, and all that. Somebody has given all those 8, 10 steps. So this is how the car moves, and this is how moves on goes. Somebody may take a written test of this, and get 100 out of 100 on that. But the minute somebody gives you the car, okay, you got 100 out of 100, you got excellent knowledge, though there is any practice, but based on that excellent knowledge, very sure because you got 100 out of 100, you will be able to drive the car. And here are the keys of the car. Believe me, none of us ever have the courage to really drive the car, even though we have 100% conceptual knowledge. So, is knowledge in action, developing that confidence. Okay, whatever I learned, when I practice it, I will be able to get much better result. And the reason in a training program we do have rules and case studies and debrief and things like that. We'll come to it as we move ahead. But as far as icebreaker is concerned, yes, create this kind of where people can experiment, people have confidence to try the new. People are very sure that okay, if I try something, if I fail, others are not going to make a joke out of me. Not going to. Others may smile. Okay, everybody makes a mistake, but I'm not going to be a laughing stock out here. Everybody makes a mistake. It's about learning. We also need to break the ice, not just between the. We also need to break the ice between the participant and. From a participant's perspective, they are looking at the situation where they can interact with each other. They can become cohesive. But another ice break and another blockage, invisible blockage, is the trainer and the participant. You see, we are talking about learners. For kids, learning is a profession. For adult, learning means somewhere they are. It's not a profession. Adults, somewhere subconsciously at the mind, it is very clear that professionally they are not performing the way they are expected to perform, level at which they are expected to perform. Hence, they are sent for training. So, training profession. Training is not the basic objective in life, not the basic like a student. Learning is the basic objective. Else it is not so. And hence, adults also have a, um, a whole lot of blockages as to whom adult accepts that I need to be better to upskill myself. The adult will look at because it is connected to his profession, because it is to his career, because it is connected to his earning, would always like to learn from somebody who has done it, somebody can help him in this, somebody that kind of a reputation. He may be happy learning it from somebody himself hasn't, been hasn't for it or is a subject matter expert or she himself is also a learner. Point that I'm trying to make over here that adults learn from the trainer confidence that the trainer is them. And that's the reason so many times participants ask different kinds of questions to the trainer, you know, and they may look around and look around kind of to other parties, look the kind of question that I ask. They do that. Okay. Now this is they want to test the trainer. They want to check how the trainer is, how knowledgeable is, how good or bad the trainer is. So the point that I'm trying to make is adults will learn when they are sure about the only when they accept that the person has better competence than he himself has. So the next level of ice is to break the ice between the trainer and participant. In other words, get yourself accepted as a subject matter. How does one do this? Here comes the presentation skills. Here comes the ability to prove. Here comes the ability to question. Here comes the ability create a vacuum. So, question, maybe say, if you come back to communication skills as an example. So, throw open it. Why is communication skills important in organizations? Question the way you want to open it. Gather the response from the participant. Maybe note it down on the whiteboard, chart, wherever you want. Okay, and then like people to a training program to know, don't know what you have collected on the is the general knowledge of the participant, the general level of competence of the participant. They are not subject matter expert. So if the level is scale of 10 is level 3 or level 4, okay, there are still 6 more levels, and you will be able to bring out from there, pointer. Okay, yes, what you all said is, and beyond these 3 more reasons that I would like you to think, that why communication is important in business, or how to benefit, or how does the absence of good communication impacts the bottom line of the organization. And these things which you bring out should be kind of an eye opener for participants. Should be kind of, my God, I never thought like this. Should be kind of amazing. The participant should be awesome. So it should be a service for the participant. This will the participant conclude that yes, that I have is knowledge, is competent, is at a certain level, definitely a subject matter expert. And if I don't listen to him, that I am a loser, not he. So I better focus on him, and then you break the ice between you and the participant. This also ensures the participant remains with you. This ensures that the participant understands your level of competence. Otherwise, so many participants will unnecessarily ask some question, misleading questions, take you on get into argument. When the participants accept that this trainer is at a certain level, better listen to this person. It discourages the participant from playing all kind of tactics. So the second breaker is between the trainer and the participant. The third level of icebreaker is on the screen is between the participant and the subject. You see, the participant has come to the shop because his level of competence is not up to the expected level, not up to the mark, and he needs to improve. People many times have learning disabilities, slides, or uh, not very comfortable with a certain aspects, certain subject, and they lack over there. So again, if you come back to communication skill, somebody may be an introvert, somebody may not be very good in verbal communication, somebody may be very interactive. So he some kind of a discomfort. It may be because of his nature, because experiences or whatever. But it's bringing him back, and he's not as communicative as expected. The organization. Naturally, the person has some kind of a discomfort, and that's where the ice has to be broken. Break the comfort level of discomfort, create the confidence, tell the participants that if lakhs of people and crores of people on this world are able to do it, they are good in communication. Not that you need to be some national leader, speak at some national level or some big public forums or on television, but on a day-to-day, common people like you and me, There are crores of people who are good at it and they have learned it. Okay, so if they can do it, you can also do it. So that's how you create that's how you keep on breaking the ice between the participant and the subject, slowly unveiling the from kind of known, slowly slowly opening up. Like I said, the tree, the tree has smoothly, but on the second day evening, people will be able to see the fruits of it. Like I said, break the ice between the trainer and the participant, establish your credibility as a trainer. That yes, this is a person from whom I can learn, and if this person, I'm sure that I will improve upon my skills. And improve upon my skills, if I implement, performance will improve, and if my performance, I will be moving ahead in life. I will be getting a better opportunity. I will have responsibility. I'll be getting more salary, more responsibility, more respected. And that's what people look for. Establish your credibility. Okay. And you are the subject matter expert. So you have been doing this, using this skill, and you have been using this skill very effectively, very successfully. And by usage of this, you have reached a certain level. You have got successes, and hence you are able to demonstrate to them that if I can do it, you can do it. Remember, we need to explain to the participant that there is a big difference between trait and skill. Many people may have a natural flair for speaking. Okay, they have oratory. That's it. But what if I'm not born with that trait? And I'm a manager, or my job demands that I should be able to communicate more effectively. That's where the skill comes in the picture. That's where you need to understand that if it is not a trait, it is a skill. In effect, skill, like I said some time ago, skill is knowledge in action. Okay, so there are steps of doing it. There are steps to be followed. So, like, is a skill. Okay, so there are steps to. Cycling is a skill. Okay, walking is a skill. We're not with this ability to walk. Yes, we had feet. We have the required potential and we have the required body power, everything. But still, we didn't know. Somebody had to teach us. Our parents had somebody had to hold the hands. We had to follow 10 times. It is to be acquired. So they have that kind of confidence. Us, okay. I will learn from this. I will improve. Performance will improve, and hence I will move ahead. The credibility is not established, and the seriousness that they may have for us will not be there. Icebreakers, I had quite a few times. Definitely at the start of the program, sometimes even post lunch, just a bit of it. Okay. During the lunch break, people go back to the real life problems, and they may come to the classroom with those lingers of those problems or things, or with some stress. Okay, I leave anyhow at 4:30 today because I got to pick up my this and that. So all those things interfere. You see, learning continues in. So these icebreakers ensure that you bring back participant to the point where you kind of stop. So just before lunch, you were at a certain point, and then during the lunch break, so many things. So people go here and there. The mind is outside. Now you bring back exactly at the same point. So a small icebreaker be required. Maybe a recap. It's not necessarily exercise. It's not basically some exercise. It's an icebreaker. So from a learning curve perspective, bring them back exactly at the place where you had left the lunch, so that it's continuous in nature. And then if a 2-day program or a 3-day program, a 1-day program, definitely morning icebreaker very important for continuity. So in short, if you look at it, icebreaker is not just one small 15 minutes kind of an activity at the start of the program, but that 20-30 of activity has got so much importance. If done well, the tone of the program, the way in which the participants will connect to you, the way in which the participants will learn from you, the way in which the participants will have the confidence in the learning and presentation, and hence, you also receive those positive feedback. So the 30 minutes at the start of the program, many times, some people say that, don't you think it's a waste of time? Say if there's a 20, the batch of people and you're spending half an hour, so you're almost spending 10 man hours on it. So my answer is always very simple. It's not a waste of time. It's the foundation. It's an investment. Okay, the foundation is not necessarily the building. Okay, but without a strong foundation, you can't construct a building. You need a strong foundation. So you may say that's not thing, but without that strong foundation, nothing will happen. So we need that 30 minutes, if need be, after conducting the activity of the vehicle. As a trainer, if you see from the language, from the way people are interacting, that don't seem to be so very, coherent. They're still a little bit stiff and all. You may need to do another thing. You may not be a one more icebreaker to open up the session in a manner whereby people open up. However, at the end of that half an hour, that's the reason I generally prefer introduce your partner, because then you make people come to the platform, and then they're there in pair and introducing each. So there's a movement, and then the audience and all that helps to break the barrier. Once done well, from their body language, the interact, the eye contact that they will have, enough indication that yes, now mind is open. Like I said, that ice ball is that mind, the mind, and it's time to syrup, which is the knowledge, and that's what brings us to the next aspect in designing a program. The next aspect is, having done an icebreaker so well, how do you open the topic? So like I said, the best ways to open the topic is by questioning them, probing them about the importance, the relevance. Somewhere at the back of the mind, realize that, look here, if you don't pay enough, if you keep on playing with a cell phone, if you keep on chatting with people around, do things, how you, it's like themselves say what are the benefits of this program and how it will help you. So openers should focus on the topic or leave the topic. There are times when, if you come back to a communication program, I would use, say, a clip or where there is some miscommunication, maybe a small 2-minute clip, some is happening, some misunderstanding is happening, maybe which is leading, it may be humorous, but maybe leading to some failure or something. Maybe you Charlie Chaplin clip or a Laurel Hardy clip or any kind of a clip could be good enough, where people see it with a lot of, because when you see Chaplin or Laurel Hardy, immediately one gets interested. Jerry clip, immediately one gets interested. So something which they can connect to easily, and within, okay, it is fun at the same time. So it helps you to focus. So why did it happen? What went wrong? Some analysis. It's like a small 2-minute case study. It's a caselet. It's a small visual case study, audio-visual kind of a case study. People talk about what could have been done and how they could have ensured that they got the result. Because, like I said, the purpose of communication is to get. Similarly, the purpose of a training program to ensure that by the 2 days, participant acquire the kind you know that they need to be at the minimum level. The deficiency or the gap is filled up. So open in a probing manner using a facilitation style. It can even create opportunity to meet and say people learn about the learners, and that's also, like I said, some the icebreaker and the opener. They're just one after another. You do an expectation exercise over here. That what you expect to learn. It's a serious opener. Having done an icebreaker, says, fine. Now I would like to we get a topic that what is it that you are looking. What is it that you like to learn, and ask them to be specific. Don't say generic. I want to know what communication is about. Ask them to kind of problem or a specific goal. Where is it that I'm failing? People start becoming serious. They start thinking about myself. Okay, where is going wrong in communication? One thing which keeps on happening again and again, which I do not get the desired result. So you can expectation exercise is also a wonderful opener, whereby in a very serious manner you focus on exactly the problem. It also gives an opportunity to the trainer to understand what are the pain areas of the participant. I may have my deck ready,